The Rings of Power season finale saw the Mystics becoming central antagonists to the Stranger, with the latter turning them into ghosts in battle. The Lord of the Rings of Power introduced new antagonists towards the end of the season in the Mystics, with their demise at the hands of the Stranger turning them into ghosts. The Mystics were introduced in the Rings of Power Episode 5 and were shown to be searching for the Stranger who fell to Middle-earth in a meteor. In the show's season finale, they revealed themselves to be looking for Sauron, mistakenly taking the Stranger as the Dark Lord. In the Rings of Power's finale, Nori, her mother, Poppy, and Sadok attempt to save the Stranger from the Mystics and are almost killed. However, the Stranger takes the lead Mystic staff and defeats the trio, turning them into ghosts before they disappear. Despite being visually spectacular, these deaths cause some confusion about their nature. The Stranger, all but confirmed as Gandalf, actually sent the trio to the Unseen Realm as proven by his lines from Shadow you came, to Shadow I bid you return. This explains the ghostly appearance of the Mystics before their deaths and their subsequent disappearance from the living realm, the scene. Are the Mystics gone forever? This led many to question then if the Mystics are gone forever. Given they were searching for Sauron, it is likely that the Mystics are bound to his power, similar to the Ringwraiths from the Lord of the Rings. If this is the case, they could return after recouping their strength to bind themselves to the actual Sauron's cause. Their ghostly appearance before their deaths made the Mystics look similar in some ways to the Nazgul from the Fellowship of the Ring after Frodo puts on the Ring of Power. This could mean that they are like wraiths themselves, bound between both the seen and unseen realms. Again, if this is the case, it is likely they could return, though it is unclear what their purpose could be going forward given Halbrand's reveal as Sauron. How the Unseen Realm plays into the Rings of Power's future. If the Mystics do not return though, the Unseen Realm will almost certainly play a huge part in the Rings of Power's future seasons without them. As mentioned, the Ringwraiths are of the Unseen Realm, or more specifically they exist in the Wraith world, halfway between the unseen and seen worlds. If the Rings of Power ends with the War of the Last Alliance at the end of the Second Age, the Nazgul will almost certainly be in the Rings of Power at some point. After all, Sauron uses the 9 rings of men to dominate them and turn them into the Ringwraiths, meaning they will likely show up in a future season. Also, the One Ring allows its wearer to pass into the unseen world, as shown by Frodo in The Lord of the Rings. As the show is building up to the forging of the One Ring and Sauron's dominance over the other rings, it is likely it will depict the ring's ability to transport the wearer to the unseen realm at some point. Another way the Unseen Realm could play into the Rings of Power is if Morgul blades are introduced. When Frodo was stabbed with one of these weapons, he was slowly being permanently transported to the Unseen Realm like the Ringwraiths until Elrond healed him. If the Nazgul and Morgul blades are introduced in the future, the same fate could befall a beloved character from the Rings of Power.